much thanks to Say Bro for Say Bro, Say Bro, all that for putting me up in a nice hotel. But the backdrop wasn't fitting with the sun, so you couldn't see me. So then I couldn't use an angle for the room. Then room service came in right into for this podcast. So I said, man, I'm about to go down into the truck and do it in the truck. I'm too smooth to be embarrassed by this.
Hey, well, hey, we here, man. We here. We got some guests that's going just about to jump in with us. We had to introduce the show to y'all first. One of our first guests we about to bring in is Mr. Gregory Motherweather. Let's get him on in here real quick. We gonna have a dope show for y'all, man. Y'all don't know what's about to happen with this. Y'all just don't understand. I don't know what happened. There he is. Mr. Meriwether, how's it going?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Welcome to the Say Bruh Show.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
All right. Do you know Mr. Miller?
I know Jason Miller well. That's my guy.
Okay.
Peace, bro.
How you doing, brother?
All is well. Working hard.
That's good, man. Always.
Yes, sir.
Always. Good to see you.
Yes, sir. Good to see you as well.
Yes, sir.
Well, yeah, I do understand it and have we told everybody this show is basically to uplift black men. You know what I mean? We've been getting beat up in our in the community and everything. So, we felt like we needed to do something to start uplifting the black men and putting out some positivity to where uh you know we can bring it back, and especially to a lot of these young guys.
Sure.
Yes,
So,
sir.
I'm about to bring one of our other guests that's going to be on the show with us. This is Mrs. Crystal Clear. Let's get her on in here. For people you don't understand, yeah, this is it's not like a debate or anything like that. Yeah, this is just us spitting knowledge, giving our opinion on what things can do. Hello, Crystal, and welcome to the Say Bruh Show. You got on mute.
Hello, how y'all doing?
All right. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I appreciate you taking time to be on the show today. Like I was telling everybody, this show is basically a show to uplift the black men in the community, and we're going to talk about different topics and things. What we can do and how we can do things. So what I mean. We are going to have one more guest that's going to pop in here shortly, but let's go ahead and get this started. The biggest thing, today's topic is the demise of the black man. So when you hear that when the word of demise of the black man, do you feel there is a demise of the black man? And that's a question for any of y'all don't want to answer.
I'm gonna go first. Nobody else want to talk?
Ladies first.
Yeah, and because I'm gonna share this at some point. There might be some people on my timeline who don't know what demise actually means, and like the death, the decease, the killing, the blocking of something, so we can get that squared away at the beginning. Yes, I absolutely believe that. And it comes from several places. We can go deeper into that after everyone else agrees or disagrees.
I definitely agree that there's a demise. The demise of the black man is real. And so, yes, I would have to agree that, yeah, when we go in depth, yeah, but the answer to that question is yes, I do believe so.
Jason, give us your input on that.
Well, I'm going to follow the lead of everybody else since they kept it quick. I'm going to say yes, and I look forward to talking about what that demise plan is.
Okay, so let's jump into the next question because since you're already there, Jason, when you think of the demise of the black man, what comes to mind for you?
I was raised on, and let me know if you hear an echo in the background.
No, you good.
Okay. I was raised on white supremacy was the dark hand behind the demise of the black man. And then the older I got, I saw other cultures wanting to see the demise of the black man and wanted to see the rise of their culture. And I saw other cultures wanting to see the divide and the demise of other cultures, but wanting to see the uplifting of their cultures. Then I got to the point where I was like, what if they supposed to do that? What if they're supposed to not really care about other cultures and really care about their cultures on rising up? And let me study how the black culture does it. A lot of us were raised in single mother homes, so you don't really get around a strong black man. And we're not really raised around a strong black man who can devise a plan from A to Z and go through the ups and downs of that plan and manifestation, and then boom, it happened year after year after year. You don't really get to see that. You get to see mommy manifest. And I felt like, like we talked earlier, we're taught to manifest like our mothers, but we might not look as good as our mothers to manifest in a world full of men who tend to be attracted to the mothers of the context of what I'm talking about. Because that's another thing. When black men are coming to go to another level, it's a lot of division even in listening. So you can even study division and the demise in the way people listen, how they listen to context, if that makes sense.
Okay. Either one of y'all want to tackle that?
Me for my turn. I agree with what he said. I was raised in that household too, and that's from my father. I had a pro-black father, and my mother was a Jehovah's Witness. So I got a little bit of everything, and I went to an all-white school. So I got to see her firsthand how they see black kids as adults. My brother is big. He was always big. He was a 12-pound baby. So him third, fourth grade, he's probably the size of the teacher. Where my mom was having to go out to the school, sit in the class, because what's going on? Why y'all keep saying my son is this way? Even I experienced some of those things. So I totally understand that there's that element, and to the point where it's inbred in the culture, it's inbred in the country, to the point where unfortunately it's inbred in some of us. So that's the man or the man. Yeah, there is the man, but okay, what's the plan now since we know that that aspect is there? How are we going to play that? And that's what we talked about. You said being in the single family home, and that part sucks. And this is definitely why I don't have kids. I've never been married. Nobody asked that question. They say, why do you have kids? I've never been married. I want a 2-parent home for my child. This is very important. My father laid the foundation so where we can hold ourselves accountable in these streets and deal with people. And there are great black men in this country that are executing that plan, executing it well. The question is, how do we get that to roll around culturally for us? Because what's the disconnect? What's the break? Why isn't that happening?
Okay.
I think that when we look at the black man, I think that I believe that everyone knows the power of black men to a degree where everyone has to, or most cultures have taken the position of minimizing what black men are while maximizing black culture in their own culture, per se. Because you look and you say that most of the time when we talk about what a real man is, it's coming from the lenses or the perspective of a white male. But then when you look at just leadership and, leadership, innovation, cultural growth, building of nations, building of community, you realize that the strength of all of that, no matter where in the world, started with us. And when you realize that a lot of people try to make, the hidden hand of white culture tries to attempt to make black men look lazy, tries to make black men create laws and statutes to take Black men out of homes, to make them look like they're bad fathers, to make it difficult to fend for your family. So therefore you quit school to find a job to be able to take care of your family. So then they feed into the educational piece of Black men. So when you find out that there are so many things trying to hold Black men back, you realize that the demise is truly it's a culture in itself to basically try to make Black men look a certain way.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna jump on that because they always say
I'm sorry. Before we go any further, how can I share this?
it is right now. If you go to my Facebook page or the DJs United Global
DJ who?
DJs United Global YouTube page.
Johnny Global?
No, DJs United Global.
United. Okay.
Yeah.
I could not understand what you were saying. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I share this.
Yeah, if you go to either one of those, you can see it stream live on either one of those right now.
I don't see it on your page.
Yeah, I don't see it on the page either.
The last thing you posted was 2 hours ago.
Oh,
and then you said on the DJs United. Let me see if I can pull it up there.
Because it says it's streaming. So we're gonna bring our other guest in real quick. Express. Oh.
Is it a private group? The DJs Global United? Is that what you told me?
DJs United Global.
DJs United Global. But no, it's not.
Thank you. Oh, well, that didn't come up. What is? I don't know what's going on. I don't see anything current on either page.
I see it. I see it.
Is it on his page now?
Yeah.
It's on the DJs United Global page.
Yeah, we're definitely. I see it. We're definitely live on there.
I don't know why it's not pulling up for me. Okay. Okay. I'll find it later.
Express, are you there?
Greetings. I am. I'm having the craziest technical difficulties, but it's okay. How are y'all?
Great.
Hello.
We're good.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we're sitting here and we're talking about the demise of the Black men. So far we've all agreed that there is definitely a definite demise of it, and and we're actually about to talk about the next aspect of it, which was my next question, because Greg, you kind of touched on a lot of it. Is how much do y'all feel the government has played a part in the demise of the Black man?
All parts. It's a real thing. We could probably find documents. The prison to the school to prison pipeline is just one aspect of that.
Sure. I agree. I think the government is tremendously involved.
The music industry.
Yeah, the government. I mean, yeah, with the music. I've always stated that there's never been, back in the day, telling my age, you used to have a sticker on the CDs that would be, give you advice, like parental advice, be like, this is not for the mind of someone who is a certain age. Those have now been diminished. And then when you look and you hear the music and you can talk murder, kill, sex, drugs all day, and there's no FCC regulation. You can't say anything LGBTQ negative, but you can say the N-word all day. You can talk about killing us. You can talk about all sorts of things as it relates to Black men. But if you say something about other cultures, you can't say anything that, that could be deemed anti-Semitic. So it's all sorts of things that you see. I said one time that I see, there was a situation in Indianapolis where there was a swastika or something painted on, I think it was a church or something out north. And it was amazing how the billboard people got with the Jewish community and start putting out free billboards against anti-Semitism. And so, but you never see anything out to say, let's stop killing. You never see anything about Black lives being saved, think before you pull the trigger or anything of that nature. So you realize that there is a machine that is behind the demise of Black men, whether it be through physically, mentally, financially, spiritual, religious, all these aspects. Black men are totally being annihilated.
Mr. Miller, you want to speak on that?
Yeah, it's a machine that can be infiltrated. If you look at the family laws, the family court system, it's the same thing. It's a machine that is pushed forward or backwards by individuals. So, yeah, the government's been targeting us for the longest, but who are the individuals that are joining the government machine to target us? Now, those are different conversations. Then that's like, but we don't want to go that deep. Let's just for years and years and years, let's just say the government is behind this. And that's cool, but if you study history, you're gonna get to the point where you're like, we ain't gonna start talking about the individuals that are joining these government machines to do this against us. But I don't know. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
I like that.
You sound like me, like, okay, but now what? Now that we know that, like, what we gonna do? Yeah.
I like that.
Facts.
Okay. Because I don't think a lot of people pay attention to how things are broke down and how much involved the government is involved with things. And if you really look at, like, let's say the entertainment aspect of it, when you look at your R. Kelly's, your Bill Cosby's, even your Diddy's situation right now, these are powerful Black men, and it's like they're not trying to let them grow old and retire with a perfect legacy. And it's like a lot of the things that they're bringing on and hitting them with, like for instance, R. Kelly hitting with a RICO. Most RICOs that I know of consist of more than one person. But here it is, one man gets caught with a RICO. Make it all make sense.
Definitely, there should be more people with him. I mean, I do understand I'm not going to take away from the greatness that they did put into the world, but you must be punished for the crimes that you are guilty of.
I think that the wild thing about the crimes that we are guilty of is if we held all those truths, we would say that there should be no Washington Monument. There should be no.
There would be nothing.
There should be no white men on a dollar. There should be no Washington High School. There should be no Washington Boulevard.
That's a whole other conversation. We can't excuse it, though.
But we always get real heavy on board. I don't hear many people crying out if they did the crime, they must be this, that, and the other, because you be protesting all day. Because it's easy to be like, you know what, if they did blah, blah, blah. But if we really take the time to really go backwards, we'll say the same crime that Diddy is being charged. We say let's look at all the lynchings that took place in America. And we talk about how many Black men were lynched for so-called sex crimes, all the way to Emmett Till. The same charge that they gave to Emmett Till is the same charge.
I'm not against you in any way with that, but it doesn't change anything.
They gave to Bill Cosby is the same charge they gave.
It don't change anything, though.
But what I'm saying is, I'm never going to sit there and get so quick. I haven't seen the Surviving Mount Vernon documentary. I've not seen the Surviving Thomas Jefferson documentary that all of us tend to watch, and then we become the lynch mob and say these Negroes are guilty and they should be held to blah, 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 without saying, well, what happened to Ryan Seacrest when he did what he did? What happened to all the white men that are still not in prison? But I don't hear nobody getting quick to say, get rid of them.
We should. Then let's do that.
But we will also say ban our talent. Nobody said ban Elvis.
Well, then we should. I don't listen to Elvis.
Yeah,
I don't listen.
I'm about to say, when we learned that he stole the music,
we should do those things.
I'm talking about when he had a 14-year-old Priscilla Presley living in his house as a grown man.
We weren't born. So what we do now is do that to the ones we can. When I hear of a white person doing some shit he ain't supposed to, what's the white guy they just cheered up? Liam Nelson, is that his name? But then there's a thing where when he got his wife or somebody's sister, someone's killed, he said, and he thought it was a Black guy. He was like, I'm gonna hunt the Black people down or something. when I heard that, I was like, oh, I don't care about watching nothing else he got. Yes, I am that. So I'm not just going. I'm that.
100.
So let's not assume, black, white, purple. You wrong, bro. That's wrong.
I'm with
And
you.
there's many people that should be held accountable with R. Kelly.
Okay.
With all of these people.
Well, let's look at it.
By himself in the hotel rooms by himself. Yeah.
Well, let's look at this. You know what I mean? If we're gonna do the crucifying, the same people that made those laws that they convict R. Kelly of are doing some of those same crimes.
Well, listen, the government is in on the trafficking. We are totally aware of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like everybody's in on it. I believe they're about to use Diddy as the scapegoat.
I totally agree.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like it doesn't go hand in hand. But I'm also like, okay, but you still had the choice to choose right or wrong. The ego got in there and you went for it. But this is taken away from the conversation that we're supposed to be having.
No, we're talking about the
right in.
Because I don't want to sit here and start trying to protect the Diddy's and the R. Kellys because, well, the white man did such and such. Okay. And
I don't want to protect them. I want them to have the same opportunity of justice that white men do.
Too late. They left evidence. They left videotape. George Thomas Jefferson, unfortunately, wrote the laws and didn't have a videotape. That's where we at with it. We either go play that game or divest.
But he hasn't had his day in court.
You're right. He hasn't, and I hope.
And I think that's where we fail black men now. Is that now black men that don't have their day in court have their day in court in the community.
Yeah.
And then everything is ran through white media. No one's looking at Harvey Levin at TMZ and seeing how he's creating documentaries on black men, but not going to create the same things on white men.
I don't watch it.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
I
it's
work
like
the news, so I don't watch the mainstream.
I understand.
I know they're a big wheel liar. I know. I quit when Trump won. I said, "This is my 2 weeks."
But can we take those people such as Harvey and say, no, we can't support those? I've never watched Surviving any of these people because I just feel that when the
I didn't need to watch that. I don't want to know the
details.
Right, absolutely, because you're telling somebody else's story.
Sure,
of course, that's the money.
Yeah. But if you like Greg said, if you look at the whole big picture, it's like they are crucifying us in the public eye, and the worst conviction that you can have is community conviction. It's like because once they get it out there and your record is tarnished, ain't nobody about to go back and clean it up. So, oh, we're sorry.
So let me ask this: is this as a culture? This is what we would like to what you guys would like to happen. If someone's being attacked in the media, we as a culture hold our word. Like I haven't posted about it. I'm not gonna post about it. There's enough stuff about it. Don't put how you feel about it in the media. Is that what we're doing? We're just gonna say, all right, Diddy about to go to trial. What are we doing here? What are we asking?
I would say that would be, for me, that would be my position.
As a culture,
because I see the unfortunates is I see so many. I see us being trained through all of them. I see us not even looking at cases. Let's take the Jay-Z case. We're not even looking for Jay-Z to be innocent. I can go all day.
I disagree with that.
But I can go all day on social media and find hundreds of thousands of people who just say they're this, they're that, they're guilty.
I definitely agree with you on that.
It's everywhere like that. And it's unfortunate. We are a very small group that says, let's see what happens. It's not a big group. Most of us now are the lynch mob. Most of us now play into our own demise.
Oh, yeah.
I can see what you're saying on that.
Yeah.
So you don't think that more people are in support of Jay-Z than they are of Diddy?
I think they're more supportive of Jay-Z than they are Diddy, but I also think that there's still that underlying thing of saying he's guilty
it's an age thing for Jay-Z. The younger generation, from what I'm seeing, does not care for him in general. So this was like, oh, Brett, we got a real reason now.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, and I remember you said a few moments ago, once someone is tarnished, they don't go back and say, oh, like we've had the young lady who had the complaint against Jay-Z. His father was like, no, that ain't.
I don't even recall that. A
I ain't
5-hour drive.
because we live. That ain't right. I was like, oh, okay. Ain't nobody else. Then I was the only person that read that. Why ain't nobody talking about that?
There was no jumbotron. There was no, for the guy she said she talked to about the tattoos was on tour in the Midwest.
The house that they were talking about.
The house doesn't exist. There's only a few gas stations in Manhattan.
That didn't add up. I was like, oh, wow.
But we take the cognitive dissonance, perspective when it comes down to it, because even one of the things I really would love for us to pay attention to is, even if you look on the TikToks, there are more Caucasian women, more Caucasian men speaking on the issue of Jay-Z and Diddy than anybody. And Black people are chiming in like it's gospel.
I thought I was tripping. I said, I'm about to make a post because it's Christmas and y'all going off on Beyonce post. I said, what are y'all doing on Christmas Day? Y'all being real racist and proving her point. What? And it just went on. I'm just like, wow. I mean, it was really disgusting. And I'm like, on Jesus' birthday? That's what y'all doing in America on Christ's Day? But yeah, no, I totally agree. It's I've never seen why people care that much about Jay-Z.
Yeah.
I didn't know y'all knew him like that.
Okay. Well, let's swing this next question, because I think a lot of the mentality leads back in time to the Willie Lynch syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you think the Willie Lynch syndrome is still played out in America today?
I think it's indoctrinated at this point.
Right. I'm about to say it's definitely based on the indoctrination of the people and how many people continue to go back to his story. If you're not looking at anything to the future and creating your own truth as opposed to their traditions, then you're going to always be indoctrinated with that. You're going to continue to raise your babies like that. So it's a lot of people being impacted by that today, not just influenced.
I think it's just expected. And I really hate that, because again, like I said at the beginning, now what are we going to do though? Because we can have this discussion until 2026 about how evil the suppression and oppression is of this country. But what we gonna do?
Okay, let me flip it a little bit, because it's over hundreds of years of the Willie Lynch syndrome, but now it's like we as the Black community, we've been suppressed for so long, we've been knocked down, and it's to the point now, if you look at the youth, they're wilding out. They're doing things that you wouldn't expect. So I can't say that they're suppressed through the Willie Lynch syndrome, because now they're acting out more with a mentality of I don't care. So with that being said, I think that's
formula worked, is what I'm saying. The formula worked.
That's where I was going with it.
There was a formula.
ING.
And the formula is so good, it's even in the food now. The formula is so good, it's in everything now.
Yes, it is.
We want to put the less money in the bank because we got to wear it. I mean, these high schoolers are arguing about shoes and clothes. Like, you got $400 shoes, but you can't read.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's so many pieces to this. Like, the demise, like, we're doing it to ourselves at this point. Like, damn.
Well, that's because the woman is detached from her womb. When she's detached from herself, what you expecting the kids gonna be like today?
I think that both sides are detached. I can't blame it on just
definitely, but
we got to get back to the root of it.
I know that the first teacher is the woman. That's what I know for me. So her being the first teacher, and we're looking at why these kids are waiting. I don't even think they're acting out. I feel like they are being birthed into this place and saying that there's something wrong with this system that we've got going on. And we are engaging in this world through our
the way we see it. Yeah.
Because the system is against us, we think they're being disrespectful. In our actuality, they're being themselves. Like, this ain't right. So who's going to correct it? Because the generation that came before them, we were like the bridge between textbook and technology. So if we're not engaging with these babies, what are we really expecting of them? Because I don't think they're being disrespectful. I think they're just really expressing themselves on what it is and what it ain't.
Well, what's the line between being disrespectful and being themselves? Because we got in my city, we got teenage killers. Like,
so I'm from Philadelphia.
Okay,
Philadelphia. Okay, so I know.
So where's the line of being themselves and being disrespectful? Because there's programs that don't show up. Like, I totally get what you're saying. Like, what we gonna do? Because they don't even want to hear the old auntie talk.
No. But and this may be a little bit extreme, a little bit radical. Until we stop putting our babies in these public schools and letting them teach our babies.
Divesting.
Until we start really creating our own I don't call us black people, I call us the original people. We are the original people. So until we stop allowing them to teach our babies and practice their medicine on us, we're gonna keep going through the same thing. It's the same thing. So when they put us, and women say, oh, the feminist movement, equal pay, they took you out of the household and put you in that workforce, and now you can't got your babies on your hip and you send them to a place at 6 weeks old to go learn from the enemy. What are we expecting? Get some land. Let's do something different. Let's go back to the way it originally was. That's the only way it's gonna work. But I'm a little extreme.
No, that's not extreme. That's where it should be right now. That's where we should be right now. And people, I was like, y'all really gonna participate in this election? Like, we should be past this. We should be. We're not playing the game right, so we need to play our own game, and that's divesting and creating our own. It's only gonna be one or two. The way we're doing it is not working.
No.
Okay, I'm glad y'all brought up the election. Because I know that was one thing that they really attacked the black men about, saying that they don't support, Kamala Harris.
Y'all weren't wrong.
And it's like we're the bottom feeders. Everybody, when you look at the community, the black man is looked at last in all aspects. You know what I mean? We're our opinion doesn't never matter until it matters. But when they realized that she was behind in the votes, who did they attack first? And then
they pander to y'all something about creating businesses, or because I really didn't follow it. I'm not for this. So did they do a little pandering to y'all for votes?
Yeah. And that's my point. That's where I was going. They came up with this little concept to try to get the black men to come out and vote. But if you read the fine print, it wasn't just for the black men.
Correct.
Who was it for? Everybody.
Yeah, there's never anything single.
So anyway, y'all weren't wrong, okay?
Yeah.
More disrespect of the black man, and then I want to touch on this one as well, because when they categorize the black and urban, it's like everything has been considered. If you're a person of color, from Indian, Mexican, Hispanic, Jamaican, or whatever, you become a black man until you try to go get a loan, you try to get some credit, then things play a different part in things. So what is your thoughts on that?
I think that people of African descent that are Americans, ADOS, the American or African descendant of slaves, however we want to put it, need to take a different position. It's like they want our rhythm but don't want our blues. And when it's all said and done, everybody gets to jump on board with the skin. My grandfather used to always say, we may have the same skin, but we not kin. And when we look, it's easy to pick a Barack Hussein Obama who doesn't have a black relative in America, or
the only person that was saying this.
and then all of a sudden people say, that's my president, that's my guy, and I'm like, he don't even really he know he ain't us. But at the end of the day, you get the celebrities on board, and we romanticize this man who never cared anything about us, and we say we miss him, and we say, I miss him, and I say, what you miss about him?
Right.
But can nobody ever explain to you what they miss? All they miss is the imagery, which our dear brother Malcolm X said, they'll always give you the imagery, but they'll never give you what you want. And we just become so low to my imagery that we just get on board. We have no bit, I was always taught in politics that politics is a means of transportation. And where a donkey can't get you, you ride an elephant. And where an elephant can't get you, you ride a donkey. And you don't take them in as pets. You don't feed them. You don't nurture them. You utilize them to get where you're trying to go. And it ain't got nothing to do with a color. It's got something to do with where you're trying to go. So you use them in a manner as a means of transportation, as opposed to being some people that you're loyal to because they're not loyal to us.
Yeah. And you try to have that conversation and you are so, oh, you're wrong and you're in. Listen,
Lucky know I'm gonna get. He know I get exiled in Indianapolis, so it's
listen,
real.
I had to just take a break. Like, y'all not ready for these real conversations. Y'all emotional, and that's not how you play the political game. If we gonna play it, we gotta play it, and y'all not doing that. And yeah, like we're gonna lobby. Let's lobby. Let's put the money behind it. We got it. We wearing it. Like let's do it. Yeah, like we spending the money. We can go in there and create the laws if that's what we want to do, instead of just pretending that this person is for us.
Sure.
So many times we can't ask them to do just stuff for Black people. Do y'all read laws? Yeah. Do y'all read? There are laws on books specifically for race, age, sex, like
yeah.
So the education piece, I guess, needs to happen. Maybe our people really don't know how politics work.
And
maybe that's a show idea.
I agree wholeheartedly. Our people, when we really think about it, we've not been in the game long enough.
What'd you say, Empress?
No, I was saying that goes back to the financial literacy. That goes back to actually knowing the value of information. I teach I homeschool, and I teach them, you need to learn about common law. You need to learn about the U.S. codes. You need to learn about House Joint Resolutions. These are the things that are not taught to us in school.
Of course not.
So these are the things how we navigate throughout this world and be able to have the advantages that other people have because we have the information. But if we're being taught by the enemy, we can never expect to get ahead. So even with the politics, I call them politics. It's a different mindset to be able, like you said, use the animal for what it is to get you where you got to get to. But we do romanticize. We are people who are too forgiving. We are too moved by color, and that's what always has us in a chokehold. So when people say, I miss Obama, what, like you said, what do you miss? He made sure that you can't even have natural seeds. Their seeds got to come from Monsanto. He made sure that little boys grown-ass men can walk into your little girl, your daughter's bathroom. That's problematic for me. So what is we really got to call it for what it is. But like you said, when you're talking about this man, this is their second savior. My grandparents had a picture of Obama and a picture of Jesus on the same wall. I said, y'all have lost y'all damn mind.
Oh, like that. So like our grandparents had they had JFK and Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Man, listen, them people was adding me to them Kamala groups. I had to make a post. I said, hey, y'all know I don't even play like that. Don't add me to no groups. So I don't want to talk about it because y'all gonna get mad at me.
Every time, okay? And I love this that we're able to have different perspectives about this whole thing, but can still have an engaging conversation, because most people it's like playing spades with people in conversation. I'm just like, y'all, it is not that serious.
I think it's because this conversation, we want to see progression. We're not just stuck in our opinions. And that's what a lot of podcasts and shows are now, because we want to see the progression. We know what we can do, have done, and just play. The people don't want to play the game. They want to just play in the game. They don't want to play the game.
Okay.
Well, my people good. I got my new house, my car, my kid, and it's still some real wicked things going on though.
Yes, it is.
Okay. We're talking about the situation. So I want to go around the room, because this question: what do y'all think it's going to take to bring this situation back for? And so, Jason, I'm gonna start with you. What do you feel it's gonna take to help put the Black man back on a pedestal, where he can put his crown back on and stand like a king that he's supposed to be?
Great question. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Well, you know how you said the Black man's looked at last, right? When it comes to society, when it comes to this society. Well, when God was creating humans, God looked at the Black man first, and that's just a fact, and nobody will argue that. A lot of us, we don't do a lot of certain things because our haters are see. And then I'm like, well, what about the God you believe in? What about God looking at you be a punk to say your solutions? How we get back to this is when Black men start following God. When you start following God the right way, you don't care what women think about you. Because I've said this with women. I'm down here in Atlanta right now. doing research over the Willie Lynch letter. So I'm at birthday parties and all type of stuff, not having fun. I'm doing research. And again, this has been the most time in history of men just caring about how women are viewing them, how white people are viewing us. That's why they doing what they doing with Diddy. If they did what they did with Diddy with other cultures, their other cultures don't take it as bad as the black culture, because we were bred and trained to be perfect Negroes. In an imperfect society, we the only ones that got a complex about being perfect. And if we're not perfect, we're gonna have a problem with it, and society's gonna have a problem with it. So again, we need to promote Voltron groups, because there's not one attacker. That's the problem. How we gonna get out of this? There's not one attacker. So if there's not one attacker and one enemy, that means there's many solutions. So everybody's individualized. They've been made individualized. Even though the Bible says where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, I'll be in the midst. We've been made to be independent, which goes against that scripture. And being independent in nature actually sounds stupid, because none of the animals in nature want to be independent, because they know the power of teamwork. So to make a long story short, once we understand that it's going to take groups to get rid of the group attacks against us, then we'll start learning, again, Voltron groups. Voltron was a cartoon or a TV show where it was individual little solutions to the bad little problems. But then when problems got smart and said, hey, we're going to get big. We're going to get big on the solutions. So they became big problems. What if that Voltron and Power Rangers movie was like the black community? We would try to stay little and independent and fight the big problems. So I study all these so-called groups who the solution, and I'm like, well, y'all don't eat right. Y'all don't really study the right way. Y'all always hating on each other. So let's create some communication workshops. I pitched that to a very large black community, a black association. They didn't want to do that because they had to spend more time in education and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, well, y'all hating on each other. Let's do some hater workshops so we can even bring that demon out. They didn't want to do it because they wanted to focus on other stuff that's keeping a black man down. So to make a long story short, just study what we're talking about to fix the problems. It's the same stuff over and over and over and over again. So you're literally just gonna, you're literally, YouTube is hurting us because we're not really trying to do new stuff. It's not like the 90s where people were just trying to do new stuff. Like a lot of remixing going on. But new problems is group activity, accountability, men not caring what everybody think about them. Some of my greatest videos had the lowest views of all time. But Dame Dash's OG was one of the ones that shared it. It's only got like 5 views, but Dame Dash's OG was one of them. So you got to know your network. I would rather get 5 influencers that are influencing millions of people than influencing a million dummies who ain't gonna do nothing about this post. Because that's another thing. I left a post. We have to create real life and social media and mix them. We got to go back. I'm not gonna say we got to go back. Black man, we're already doing that. We're going back to real life. I'm not gonna send you an email like that movie Don't Be a Menace to South Central that Marlon Wayans and the Wayans brothers did. Remember, they were sitting outside and he was right next to him and he just sent him a text and said, let's go, instead of saying, let's go. Black men are learning to go back to real life and putting your phone down and going and talk to people and working out solutions. But I'm going to land my plane there. But to fix this problem, we got to start talking about new stuff. Just listen to the talking points. It's the same stuff all the time. Same stuff all the time. I land.
All right. Greg, you want to come in on this?
I hear my brother, and I'll say this: until it's fixed, it has to be the same stuff. And I think one of the biggest issues that I see in our community as far as fixing it, one, we must get back to the cream. And what I mean by that is there was a time where Black people selected their own leaders and didn't allow white society to say what an activist was. And we have to start allowing Black men who can articulate our pains to be the people who are in the forefront. We also must have brothers who look the part, live the part, walk the part, talk the part, being the representatives that are in the forefront. Now we have the ability to listen to anyone, but we've not siphoned off the thing of saying this is not who we should listen to. Now we have allowed them to say Cardi B is this person, or this person is an influencer, or this person is a Black leader. I remember in the city of Indianapolis, you had Visit Indy during COVID, or no, during the George Floyd situation. They put out a post that said, these are the Black leaders of Indianapolis. And Black people were not outraged. I was totally outraged. But the Black people that they picked, the title of the article should have said, these are the Black people that white people think are safe.
Yep, that's usually how it goes.
But everybody was cheering and happy that white folk had selected them. Black people got to get to the point where, one, we unify. Two, we stop accepting anything outside of excellence. And when it gets to a degree of listening to bad things, bad music, bad food, bad religion, bad behaviors, bad everything, one of y'all said it. I said when the crack epidemic hit and went away, they turned everything else into crack. And when we realize that the food is cracked, the education is cracked, the clothing is cracked, the books are cracked, everything is bad, then we say, okay, well, how do we fix it? And I think that it has to get to a point now where rhetoric is no longer on the table, but viable solutions through people who take the time, like my brother Jason said, to go and research, who put in the efforts and the work to actually say, I'm here to make things better, such as these sisters are saying. These are the people that we should be listening to and supporting. When we think about our old leaders, they put their lives on the line for Black progress. Now, all we got is people who think about themselves. We are more attracted to them being successful individuals than us being successful as a culture or successful as a community. So we got to look at the hearts of men and women and say, are they truly about us, or are they okay being on an island? And I think that once we make the decision of unifying, and also, again, that key word, supporting those people who are willing to die for the advancement of Black people, should be at the forefront of anything that we try to do. Because that's what got us to that little bit of movement that we had, was through those people who said, I'll die for it. I stand on that.
Okay. Well, let's go to Empress. Give us your input on this.
First of all, it's a powerful, very, very powerful question, to be solution based. For me, I'll definitely know that the original man has to honor the original woman. Again,
Agreed.
There's no honoring of mama. The what you call a Black woman is the most degraded being on the planet by the most influential genre of music. So if we're talking about how do we move forward, it'd have to be the honoring of which you came and to come back out of us, literally. So if we're not honoring our mothers, we're not honoring our daughters, our wives, our sisters, it's going to continue to be chaotic. Now that don't mean she can't be held accountable, but I do know she is probably the least accountable entity on this planet. But at the same time, when she is holding herself accountable, how is the man responding to that? When she is saying something, oh, I know I need to do better, or I know I need to take these damn lashes off my eyes so I can see and stop leading the blindly. What is the response to him? Are you thanking him for seeing you? It starts with her, and then it spreads. Because like I said, I know the first she should be the woman. So the only way for us to move forward, not just on a political level, not just an economic level, it's going to have to begin in genetics. That's genetically, we're going to have to really acknowledge who we are in this whole thing and break it down. So when we acknowledge each other genetically and see like they are not like us, and that's for real, on a genetic level, we have to separate. You know, I think about how they came up with the movie Black Panther, so you're not able to go research the original Black Panthers. You can't even put it up really, because the movie is going to overshadow everything else. It's the same thing. They will do everything in their power to make sure we don't see ourselves. But until we're able to have the conversation amongst ourselves, stop inviting everybody to the goddamn cookout. I don't give a damn how much rhythm they got.
Because Big Mama ain't even telling me she don't like strangers. Y'all tripping.
Come on, man. Like, what are we talking about? They got a viral
Because
video.
it
Like,
can
let's
stay.
be exclusive. We gotta be more exclusive. And people are like, oh,
we have to gatekeep.
Yeah, we do. And there's nothing wrong with that. They've been doing it for so long. Why do y'all think there's such a wealth
Steal
gap?
our stuff and then say move.
Yes. Like, step on their neck. Like, I'm not against that. I tell my babies know how to shoot and protect themselves. They know. Like, even the way they teach us to fear the very things they protect themselves with. That's crazy to me. So we have to learn how to have those real conversations. And those who don't want to have it, on to the next. Because I have no problem with attaching. Like, all skin folk and kin folk. I'm not here to save everybody, but the ones who do want to be a part of something greater, let's go. But I'm not here to beg you and convince you of who you are. I'm here to remind you of who you are. But if you can't see who you are, baby, you gotta we still gotta move. We still got lives coming into this world. So everybody don't have to be together so much for the sake of all Black folks together, all the original people together. But it is a filtering within that. Those who know why we're here to do this work, these conversations, this is work, this is generational. You're changing the atmosphere. You're saying, let's talk about something. You don't know what each of us are a part of to be able to bring that to this network and create something for the next generation. That's the power of conversation and action. So until we start having more, conversations about financial literacy, I cannot stretch that enough, because most of our issues in our community and our relationships deal with the finances and the lack of information that have to do with the finances. If I could show somebody how to clean up their credit, do you think that they're gonna be stressing about them having to move into another house by a certain date because they got the credit straight? Like, it's these simple things that we go through on a day-to-day we don't think builds up the collective. It does. It makes up of a lot of people's issues, but because we don't have the conversation and or the resources, we don't think it's possible for us. So I'm long-winded, y'all, so I'll keep talking to y'all.
That's good, sister, but I want to say something really quickly.
Go ahead.
Because there's a new, I won't even say it's new. There's a training system that is infiltrated into our community. And that has come by way of these groups and organizations, these non-for-profits, these so-called leaders. Because now you talk about financial literacy, watch this. If you need a coat in the winter, I'll give you a coat. If you need a turkey or a ham, I'll get you a turkey or ham. If you need toys, I'll get you toys. If you need books, book bags, and all this, I'll get you this. I just need you to stay where you are.
Instead of saying, let me take, okay, we got how much this year? Let's divide it into 5 families to put it in a trust.
Let's put a trust.
But no one's teaching them how to
do stocks or open a business or something like that, because y'all got the funds to do that.
No one's teaching the man to fish.
Right.
You said it.
That's right.
Perfect.
Everybody is saying, "I'll get you the fish."
That's right. And they don't want to charge. That goes back to the value of each other, the value of information. I have a friend who has a business partner who has a streaming company, and his whole thing is, because they're going to get our data anyway. Period. Whether it's Tubi, whether it's LexisNexis, whether it don't matter. But he started a streaming company and said, I want to use the profits from this company to go back into the community and clean the water. People don't even know that Philadelphia water is worse than Flint, Michigan water. But you have to be
the Clean Water Initiative here in Indy.
You see what I'm saying? But this is the power of what this is, because there's some people out here who really want to make a difference. We can't do anything if we don't know the power of clean water. Because the organs, you can't see the organs and how they function on the inside. But when you start learning and connecting and putting yourself in these different rooms, you can be involved with each other and be able to go from Indianapolis to Atlanta. You see what I'm saying? So,
but what happens, sister, when you realize that that type of work ain't attached to this? So when I go and go in a room and I say, y'all took the raw sewage from the north part of Indianapolis and made all of it go to the south and the west part of Indianapolis, and the people in Hallville couldn't fish, swim, or any of those things, but they never knew. And then but then what happens is people look at those activism or activists, and they say, you brought toys to the community. You brought turkeys to the community. These are the people who are deemed the heroes, but these are only people who support white supremacy by keeping you in the same place, using the government's funds, and placating or playing as if they are advancing you while only keeping you where you are.
See, that's the problem. That's why we got to hold their asses accountable. These are real conversations. Because I'm looking at other countries going knocking on their presidents and their governors' doors like, we got a problem. Like, bring your ass outside. Like, we're going to have to start rising up as a people. Like, I'm telling, what gets me is that people say, well, you know, I'll go out and I'll sign a piece of paper. Oh, I'll go protest. But are you willing to put your life on the line for the future? Because these babies are the future. So I don't mind reaching back to grab these babies to reach into the future and get them something that they never had before. You got to be the first and the last. We have to really know that we are the ancestors of today. We are chosen. This is the greatest time to be alive. I don't give a damn what the bank account looking like. This is the greatest time to be alive because we have so much power. But go ahead. My bad, y'all.
All right, Crystal, you're up.
What was the question?
You know what?
How do we get on the tracks?
Yeah. You know where do you feel it's going to take to get us where we need to be as a black man, where he can put his crown back on and stand proud?
I think all of you made points that are I'm probably going to say as well. First, deprogramming and reprogramming, and that's everything. I'm talking from the diet, the relationship with that you've been told is your relationship with God, how you learn, everything. He talked about the Panthers, and again, your relationship with God should be solid, but less pastors in our business and more Panthers in our business, because y'all pick that one pastor, he everywhere. Why? Who said he was the one we wanted to represent us? Why y'all keep picking these people? We don't need the NAACP. I'm sorry, Auntie, but we don't. We don't want them. That was made right over here in Springfield because some white people did X, Y, Z. So we sorry. Let's kumbaya. We're gonna send some money up here and start a group because we was wrong. But y'all gonna do it again, and y'all do it again. We need to, again, as far as the deprogramming and reprogramming, teach our actual history, because what they're teaching in schools is making us docile. They don't know that we was fighting back. They don't know that we was whooping ass and doing such. They don't know that we had whole towns. They don't know there were more black politicians, doctors, lawyers, judges before, after slavery than that there are now. They don't really know how to vote. We need to deprogram and reprogram. And everything isn't witchcraft because such and such told you was. They told your great-great-grandma that was witchcraft so she'd read that Bible in the way they want her to read the Bible. So go ahead and use your crystals. Go ahead and sage. Go ahead and stop eating all this stuff that they telling you to eat. Like, these diets are horrible. Y'all pouring cheese on everything. Go to the doctor and get you a holistic practitioner. There's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of pieces to it. But again, I'm always going to say we know the problems. And I like what Jason said, let's break up. You want to be over the problem that's with food? Okay, and who's going to help with the agriculture? Okay, let's go over there. Who knows who's good with the finances and knows how to do stocks and what and trust? And you go over there. Or baby, you're going to go to school to be a lawyer. You're going to go to school for act like. We have to start doing that. We just send our kids to school, and what you going to be? Oh, I got a degree, and what's that going to do? More community, less self. And that's what it used to be. We have to get back to that. We have to.
I love that. I think we also, for those of us who like the journey of dismantling, I am a what is
I'm a
that?
disruptor, baby. Let's
Deconstructing.
go.
I'm a deconstructing brother.
Mhm.
Because when I look and I see the things that we don't, you brought up the NAACP, and we don't talk about Joel Elias Spingarn or Spingarn, whatever it is. That's the highest award you could get in the NAACP, and it's a white man who was an op, who took the information and gave it to the government to utilize against Black
And
people.
they
And
be
he's still,
playing in our face,
and
but
he's
because we
still,
don't
and the top
research, don't
award
be
is still
quick to
named
honor
after
it.
him. It's like that has to be dismantled. We don't look and say that to be a Rhodes Scholar, to realize that Cecil Rhodes is the father of apartheid, and the highest educational award or scholarship, which is a Rhodes Scholar, is named after the father of apartheid. Those things have to be dismantled.
They do. Instead of saying it's an honor.
And until we and it's like there is such a big job of breaking the barriers. It is a thankless job that I take on every day, but there is a very big job in breaking the barriers to allow people to run through those holes or through those areas. We have to get back to trailblazing. We have to get back to creating. One of the most beautiful things about segregation is that we had the opportunity to create. Now we just ride off everything that they've created. I ask this question to young people all the time. Walk through your house. What's Black? Not a blind, not a faucet, not a doorknob, not a refrigerator, not a stove, not a pepper shaker, not a salt shaker. So that means you have the ability to create all kinds of things just for your community alone, to stifle them, to stifle that dollar only staying in our community for 6 or 8 hours. Create our own and say, go buy the Black person salt and pepper shaker, or the blinds that's made by the Black people, and let that money start filtrating back into our communities. That'll change the game.
I made
Okay.
that
Oh.
in 2017. What items can I buy that are Black owned that I use faithfully? My toiletries. I gotta wash myself. So all my soaps and my toothpaste, my deodorants come from, and whatever else I can find. But those are the things we have to start doing.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well,
Hey, look, I got a question when you get done with that, Lucky.
well, go ahead, because I was about to close it out. What's the question?
Okay, because I was just about to say we're almost there then. We're almost there. So, because my heart goes out to Black men. That's why I really wanted to do this. I really want Black men and Black fathers to really get the solutions. So, from my years of studying empowerment, what happens is we put together these events and it's like, well, they do this, they do this, they do this, they do this. So we don't really get to go as deep on a topic because everybody's throwing, their specific field of study. So I usually say, okay, all the people listening, go to them. Don't do no more events like this. Have more specific events. Like the medical world, the doctor used to treat the whole body and he or she couldn't do that good. So the medical world was like, well, let's come up with specialties. You could be like a foot specialist. You could be like a brain specialist. And the medical field dramatically increased because we stopped having all these full body conversations because you're really not going to really get nowhere.
Right.
But that's a more specified conversation. It'll create new conversations and new solutions, and then we'll fix these problems. Because like Greg said, the same stuff is not going to fix it. New stuff is going to fix it. So I'm just tired of talking about the same old stuff. So having more more specified conversations, Black men will actually see this and be like, oh my God, I heard something new. I'm about to go do something new. Because when you know better, you do better.
Preach.
But when you hear the same things, you get bored and you say that's one of those events.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So basically we're gonna end it like this. Y'all get a lot of insight and some great opinions on this topic. So I think we broke it down to where one, we have to define what is a Black man. What makes him whole. You know what I mean? And we have to get that out to the community, you know what I mean? And let these Black men stand up and be proud of who they are. Put their crown back on and stand tall and be the kings that they are. Focus. We have to focus on the things in which makes us powerful, what makes us able to take control of situations, what makes us be the head of a household. then execute. We have to execute all these actions in which we need to do to be a solid Black man. So with that being said, I appreciate everybody, for joining us on this show. We're going to be doing this show every week. It's the Say Bruh Show, trying to uplift the black men and the kids. Our next show, we're going to be talking about the weaponizing of children. So make sure y'all tap in. It's going to be, you can see this show on the DJs United Global YouTube. It will be on there as well as all other places. So if y'all watching it now, or if y'all see it after we post this, make sure y'all tap in, tune in, and appreciate it. Everybody, can y'all shout out y'all social media links so everybody can know how to find y'all if they want to find y'all?
Sure, I'll go first. I am Crystal Clear. That's on Instagram, and Crystal Shaw on Facebook. But Clear is spelled Cleere.
Gregory Merriweather on Facebook, Coach G Merriweather on TikTok if it's still alive after the 19th.
Oh man.
And then I have a YouTube page also called No Apologies Please. Yeah, that's how you find me.
Hey, on Instagram, you can find me at my @MAAT Empress Wessia. Wessia is WESSIA.
Okay. And I'm promoting my fitness Instagram. So I'm going to do madefit.pro. So MADEFIT, madefit, and then .pro Instagram, where I do a lot of personal training and player development app.
All righty. Well, like I said, y'all definitely appreciate everybody jumping on. You catch me and of course Mr. Jason Miller every week. Different show topics. Like say next show, we're gonna be talking about weaponizing the children. So you don't know who we're gonna have on here. So make sure y'all tap in, and we out.
Peace.
Peace.